Emirja asks on the Excel subreddit, greater than, but answer below or equal to. Hi, I'm trying to add a greater than, but the answer can be more than 5. And then he presents it with a formula. Now, in one of the cells, he provides a time, and this time will be between 4 p.m. and 0 a.m. And then using a bunch of if functions, he is trying to determine what the difference is between his time and the start time of, I assume, an event. But the caveat is that there can only be a maximum of 5 hours between those events. So if the actual difference would be more than 5, we want to cap this at 5. So I made an assumption as to how the Excel would look like. As you can see, we have an input cell in B1 where we input the time ourselves, like 18 hours, right? Which would be 6 p.m. And so then we have the start and the ending date between 4 and 9 p.m. So the cool part about working with hours or time in general with Excel is that we can do simple calculations. We could simply take the input cell and subtract from that the start time, and we will actually get the amount of hours and minutes in between these two. So even if I would put 1830 like this, you can see we get 2 hours and 30 minutes between these two times. Now the issue lies in the fact that if we go above 21, so for example 22, the result that we're getting is 6 hours. And so we want to cap this at 5. Now the way to do this is to use a min function. I know it sounds a little bit counterintuitive because we're capping a maximum, so then we're using a min. But what a min function does is you provide a bunch of numbers to it and it will return to you the smallest number. So in this case, we want to have at least a number in there that represents the 5. So if another number goes above the 5, it will take the 5. I hope that makes sense. So one of the arguments to the min function is the difference between the input time and the start time. And then we also want to provide the 5. Now we could simply type out 5 and this would work, but I am assuming here that the 5 can also be dynamic. I think the 5 comes from the fact that there's 5 hours difference between the end and the start date. So we will make this dynamic by getting the 5 hours from subtracting the start date from the end date. Just like this. Now I close the parentheses and press on enter, and you can see the result is 5. So if I type in something between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m., I get the actual result. And if I go above, like 23:30, like this, we are capping it at 5 hours.